What does it truly mean to be Livin Americana? We are such a big part of the foundation that's continuously shaping this country. This is what Livin Americana is all about. I'm your host, Zayda Rivera, here with our guest, Arcadio, a visual artist from New Jersey, here to tell us about his story.
All right, so I got to go way back to where I was born, which is the Dominican Republic.
And tell me about when you really dove into the arts and really creating your own vision around what you wanted to do.
Well, in high school was when I really started picking up. I was just drawing around, and one of my teachers saw me, and that's when he said, "No, I think you should go into art." I loved it, and someone believed in that I could do it. There was a lot of graffiti. Hip hop was just starting out in high school, so I joined the crew, and my goal in that crew was to be the graffiti artist. So that's when I realized this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life.
Now, younger artists can look to an artist like you and see the skill set that you have, the success you've had in your art. How important is that for you? Essentially, you're kind of a pioneer in that way.
It's amazing. I have it's one of the things that you actually work for. You want to be able to be at least someone other people can look up to and say, "Wow, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know there was Dominican artists in New Jersey that's doing that." Well, I'm Dominican, but I'm also American. I live here. I like the culture. I'm just bringing a little bit of mine into it, and forming something new. So it's a good thing. It's a good feeling. It's good to contribute.
The premise of this show is to really highlight the Latino experience in America. Why do you think this type of show is so important in getting our stories out?
To show them that Latinos are making a difference in this country. For you guys to be highlighting specific stories around the country of Latinos and what they're doing, especially in smaller towns, fantastic. This is almost like a sociological archaeology, where you're digging into specific parts of the country, looking for important stories that are going on every day that people don't even think about. This is Livin Americana, and I'm your host, Zayda Rivera, here at the Raven Gallery and Boutique in Jersey City with co-owner Javiera Rodriguez. You are a jewelry designer.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind your jewelry. Who inspired you initially to even get into that craft?
I think ever since I was little, I've had a feel for the darker side of things. That's always been kind of my aesthetic. I really just like getting different components from different parts of the world, of combining cultures, of combining things that you wouldn't necessarily combine. It could be worn by people that are into that aesthetic, but also people that are into a more feminine, a softer side of things. Well, I first moved to the United States with my family when I was about 6 years old, and we actually moved to Jersey City. And I would say the transition was very difficult at first. There was definitely a culture clash. I lived in the suburbs in Santiago, so this was very different.
What was your parents' decision to move to this country? Why?
I guess a typical American dream, just trying to raise us somewhere where we could be more successful. Both my parents worked very hard, and we grew up with my grandmother as well. So while my parents worked, she kind of raised us and took care of us.
What has the reception been like since you've opened the gallery?
I think we've definitely been very welcomed into not only the Village area, but just Jersey City in general. We wanted to make a place where different artists can show at all times. And I feel that we're very open to just all kinds of artists. And I feel that art definitely is something that just brings everyone together, regardless of your culture, regardless of your background. You just come together. I think it's important for our stories to get out because as Latinos, you don't always hear the positive things that are going on. And I think as artists, we contribute a lot. We actually currently have an intern who's a Latina as well, who's a high school student, who we're trying to mentor. She's from Newark. She's definitely somebody that we want to show that there's different aspects about being a Latina, about being an artist, that we don't always have to fall into our stereotypes. And you could be so much more.